Hello, friends. It's time for Yokai Watch Music Note Episode 7 Review. The first part of this episode is called Bakutan Saikyo Onara Unito. Or Bakutan, the strongest fart unit. The second part is the Dream Yokai Pad Air, or Yume no Yokai Pad Air, and then Yokai Nya Experience, and then the 4 Dindo Haburashi, or Koma-san 4 or 4 Electric Toothbrush, and then we have the little press conference thing to show off the children art, and then we have the Gekijo Wisuto Mame no Ki. This episode was surely something. I don't know what it was. I am trying to get caught back up with Yokai Watch. I ended up falling about a week and a half to 2 weeks behind due to life being life. I apologize for that. This episode's goal or premise is just to embarrass Keita, or Nate. That's all this episode is designed to do. It's not designed to put Nate over or to get Nate any positive press or attention. It's just the first part is all about farts, brought to you by Chicks Week, Cut in Cheese, and Rari, because apparently this is the super duper fart unit trio. At first, Keita-kun or Nate just thought, oh, I'm gonna let one fart slip out in class, one silent, hopefully not deadly. He ends up destroying everyone's nose when he releases a silent but deadly bomb upon the entire class. Eventually, he's like, "Ya Pali," or "Oh, it must be a yokai," and then Cheek Squeak appears. We get a Detective Conan reference here in a little bit within the episode. Jabanion was summoned. Jabanion ends up smelling farts and then passing out. Same thing for Keita-kun. And then we get Detective Conan Nate, and then Cut and Cheese was revealed. And then poof, Rory or Rari is also shows up. And then Keita's class confronts Keita about cutting the cheese so much. If they had just not done this episode, nothing of value would have been lost. Nate would still have some dignity, which Nate no longer has. But let's move on to the 4 Koma, because to me, I thought this was cute. Koma-san teaches people how to use the electric toothbrush. It was simple. It is directed towards the younger demographic, so I'm not giving the segment any sort of down. I'm actually gonna say it was okay. But that first segment was horrible. It wasn't funny. The Detective Conan reference was kind of neat. Then we seen transition to the Yokai Pad Air scene, and Jabanion traps Whisper inside of a box. I don't blame Jabanion. Whisper has proven to be kind of annoying in the series, and I even like Whisper. And Whisper Yokai Pad keeps running low on battery, and it's not performing as well as it once used to. So it was suggested that Whisper go get the Yokai Pad Air, this magical yokai pad, this advanced form of yokai technology. So, Whisper goes on a quest, ends up dropping his yokai pad, ends up giving it mouth to mouth basically, and ends up running into a very, very shady businessman, Crook-a-Doodle. I keep wanting to say Crook-a-Doodle-Doo or Doodle-Don't. But yeah, Whisper gets hustled by this totally honest person, Chicken, or Crook-a-Doodle. The C-rank yokai just completely hustles the #1 butler of the kid who saved the yokai world. Wow, I'm beginning to think that Whisper has lost some brain cells. So, the yokai pad ends up becoming a boomerang to deal with Snoddle, who had Nate's fingers trapped, because why wouldn't Snoddle appear? Yeah. So, Snoddle was defeated by the Yokai Pad Boomerang, even though Whisper was convinced that this air was a Yokai Pad Air. Then we transition into the theater scene, which is basically Jack and the Bean Sprout, but Whisper and the Bean Sprout was just... It wasn't a good segment. It was just the Bean Sprout's vine smacking Whisper in the butt. Or poking him. Controlling him. If I had to rate this episode, if I'm thinking about it from a pure comedy perspective, maybe a C. If I had to think about this from a fan engagement perspective, I couldn't give this even a score, because they straight up completely degraded Kada-kun or Nate, almost to the point where it feels like 2019. It feels like Kada cannot just get one break to build his character in a positive light without being a joke. But it is nice to see Crook-a-Doodle, so I can say that I kind of liked the episode a little bit, and I can say now with how I'm thinking about the 4 comas, I don't see them as time wasters, but that opening segment was really degrading for Kada-kun. I have no idea how the show's doing in Japan. It's not on Oricon's top 10, as far as I know. I checked last week, so I assume it might be doing okay, but not amazing. But man, if this is what the future, or if this is the flashback we're getting, this series is going to be as hard to review as 2019, even with reviewing it less as an action show and more as a comedy show, because fart jokes are only funny like the first 2 times. Originally, at the beginning, I thought, oh, it's just 1 or 2, and then it became that entire 6 or 7 minute segment, or a little bit longer than that, because the opening was like the first couple minutes. It ended up feeling like it was an eternity segment. I want to keep believing that Hino and the anime team will find a balance between comedy and action. I'm gonna try to stay positive, but yeah, this episode was a real stinker, and I'm leaving it at that. I'll see you guys in the next review. I'm gonna try to get that one done soon before the weekend. I'm hoping to watch the episode tonight and then do the review Friday at some point before I stream, but I have no idea if that's even doable. I'll talk to y'all real soon.